So, in March of 2018, my wife filed for divorce. I was looking for an attorney, and when I called various attorneys throughout El Paso, they were asking me who was the presiding judge. And when I let them know that it was Laura Strathmann, a lot of them didn't want to take my case. So out of curiosity, I kind of asked a couple of attorneys, like, why don't you want to take the case? And they were saying, well, we won't get justice, or you won't get justice in the 388 if you don't hire one of her friends as an attorney. So after I found an attorney that was willing to take the case, it was a bunch of just setbacks. Laura Strathmann wasn't available. Laura Strathmann was out of town. Laura Strathmann just, couldn't see us that day. So it was just various different things that, it just set us back. So when we finally got to go into court, my ex had retained Laura Strathmann's one of her friends, one of her good friends, one of her pocket lawyers. It was brought to my knowledge brought to my attention actually, that she took over Laura Strathmann's practice when Laura Strathmann became judge of the 388. So as we're in there in court and we're litigating, they're going back and forth, both attorneys are. Judge Strathmann seemed like she was not paying attention to the court or what was going on, the proceedings, doing other things as both attorneys were litigating. There would be an occasional objection or occasional sustain, and after the evidence was presented and the case was finalized and done, it was skewed heavily in the petitioner's favor. Me being the respondent, which was, I presented receipts for furniture that she just gave away to her after we presented the receipts in court. Vehicles that were just in both of our names community property. The values were skewed heavily in the petitioner's favor. There was really not a distribution of the property equally. It was more, like I said, skewed heavily towards the petitioner's favor. And I got stuck with most of the debt, or all the debt. The custody, as far as the custody, we were doing the 1 week on, 1 week off. Judge Strathmann totally changed that. Judge Strathmann went to a standard possession. The kids started suffering in school. They started doing poorly. We started receiving calls from the teachers. It's very sad because Laura Strathmann does not take the best interest of the kids and what's the best interest of the family. Unless you hire one of those pocket lawyers, you won't get a fair trial in the 388. Laura Strathmann is strictly concerned with who can contribute to her campaign, who can help her, and who can line her pockets. I says, because I went in there, I am a good father. I went in there and I had all my rights basically just taken away. I had all my kids taken away. Laura Strathmann is just unfit to be a judge of the 388th and shouldn't have the power to will her will inside the 388th to what's in the best interest of her and her friends. There's families out there that are suffering, and this needs to stop. I can just imagine all those people that are suffering from her previous rulings. I know how I feel and how I love my kids, and I can imagine how all those other people feel.